because they'll probably cancel her flights in or something.
Commissioners,
She was stuck at the airport.
you guys ready to go?
So she's just gonna wait till tomorrow, then she has no time to prep for her next day. But she'll be fine.
Roll.
I love
Okay.
Clay.
Good morning, good morning.
I do.
I'd like to call the February 13th meeting of the Mason County Fiscal Court to order. Please stand and join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Clerk, can I have a quick roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Tony Lees is going to provide a quick invocation for us. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Thank you, my friend.
Gracious Father, we come before you. We thank you for this great nation that you've allowed us to be a part of. We thank you for this great community. We thank you for our leadership that you have ordained, that you have put in the position to be over us, to lead us and to direct us. Father, we pray that as they are discussing the business and the decisions of this community, that you would grant them wisdom. It's in Christ's name that we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Well done. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
So we have guests joining us today. I would like to call forward Mr. Griffin Martinez and Alex Brannon. Gentlemen, if you come up to the podium. Griffin and Alex are Mason County High School FCC LA students. And we also want to recognize high school principal Seth Faulkner for joining them today. Gentlemen, our recycling division with the county is partnering with Griffin and Alex and the FCCLA high school team to re-implement recycling there at the high school. And guys, you want to give some details on your progress and where we're at?
So we basically just saw that there was a problem with Mason County where we would just see trash like all over, just like thrown away all the time. It's not like a secret, it's a problem everywhere.
Sure.
So we saw, I thought that the biggest issue stopping us from recycling is convenience. Like people aren't going to go out of their ways to just go and find somewhere to recycle. If it's right there, I think they'd be a lot more open to it. So as a part of our project with SDCLA, our sustainability challenge, which we compete in at like regional and state and national levels, we thought we could start up a recycling program at Mason County by placing bins around the classrooms and in the hallways, and then we partnered up with Travis Cooley and Randy Ham and Owen McNeil to organize a recycling program so that we could reduce the amount of unnecessary waste in the community.
We'll see.
That's good.
Good job.
I'll say the FCCLA project is indicative of our public-private partnership philosophy that we're trying to utilize. They are doing a good job standing up and their willingness to participate, and we greatly appreciate it. These two, along with Miss Roberts, FCCLA director, wrote a grant to help not only the facilitation of this program, but also the purchase of bins throughout the school. For our part, we have donated 10 larger receptacle bins that we will trade out. We're estimating weekly, but we can pull them more than that. And the already sorted material into glass, plastic 1, plastic 2, cardboard, and aluminum will get recycled, and we'll leave the 5 empty containers there at the school. And so very excited about the pilot project. Griffin, your thoughts, my friend?
Well, what we started is getting kids in the classrooms for paper, and we've already seen great things from that. People are using them; they're ready to be like replaced and emptied. I think everything is going to go well. It's been going well so far already. So,
Our hats off to you both, and thank you for your willingness to serve, and thank you for your participation in this project. We think it's a great idea.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Thank you all very much. We appreciate your ideas. And how long have you all implemented? How long has it been in place now? A week, 2 weeks, a month?
It's about a week.
About a week.
We're still like, it's kind of like a trial run right now. Like we're testing.
Gotcha.
get the kinks. With
Yeah.
so,
We certainly appreciate your
Did you have
efforts.
any trouble getting the kids to start doing this?
I haven't had trouble with the recycling. The problem is going to be organizing like the logistics, like how
Yeah.
we're going to collect it every week, because we are the ones who have to go and collect it and set it out for them to pick up. So we have to figure out like the logistics, how to do
Did
that.
you have volunteers to help you do that?
No.
But,
you get bound up, call me. I'll come help you. I'll come help you pack them.
and we all present this for your project in FCCLA
Yeah,
at some point
We
in time?
presented it on Friday this past week and we won.
Oh.
Good, congratulations.
Griffin and Alex are part of the high school FCCLA division here at Mesa County that for the last 5 to 8 years has produced several statewide leaders and statewide leadership positions, as well as I think national leaders, correct? Okay.
I think Mara is.
yeah.
Yes, sir. I believe so. And at a wider perspective, this pilot project's going to help us, determine whether this project would work in other high employment dense areas. Provided someone is willing to do the pre-sorting, our team could come get the materials, bale them, and transport them to regional recycling areas. And so we're very interested in seeing your all success. And thank you both.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, gentlemen. Good guys. Guys, also, we have a guest here. We have Maysville City Manager Matt Wallingford joining us today. Good morning.
Morning, Judge.
How are you, my friend?
Good. Good morning, Commissioners,
Morning, Matt.
members of the court. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to come and address the court this morning. And some of you may have, I know Commissioner McKay and Judge McNeil were at the city meeting last week, and they heard my presentation to the City Commission regarding utility projects that we've done, that are ongoing, and that will be coming. So my goal here today is not to scare anybody. It's to inform the court and to inform the public of what we have going on. And it's not, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's rosy, because it isn't. It's reality. And it's where we are at this point, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. So you may or may not know that the city is under a state consent decree to separate our combined sewer overflow system. And this started back in 2007. Our consent decree goes through 2033. I won't be around when that hits, but I highly doubt that we will get this project completed at that point. So my guess is we'll have to submit for an extension. There's a lot of other cities around the country and even the state that have extensions to 2040, and I could easily see us getting there. So where were we? Where are we? The first project for the CSO started back in 2011 or 2012. This was an $11 million project in which we had to get a KIA, Kentucky Infrastructure Authority loan to do. And when we did that, this project was basically the east end of town to start separating the sewer system. We had to raise our sewer rates 45%. And this was broken out over a 3-year period, 15%, I believe 2012, 2013, and 2014. So KIA required us to raise our rates in order to fund the project to be able to pay off the loan. We also currently have a $4 million loan we're paying back on, which was upgrades to our wastewater treatment plant. This was not part of the CSO or our long-term control plan, but it was a project we still had to do. And some of that money was forgivable. And then most recently, we have about $1 million project down here at Wall Street, which is part of the consent decree. And we did use some Cleaner Water Act money. So, at this point, we're looking at about $15, $16 million that we have to pay back to KIA. We have recently submitted what was called Phase 5 of the long-term control plan to KIA to be funded. This is about a $3.2 million project, and this has to do with upgrades to Limestone Street, Washington Street, and our Main Street lift stations. We're waiting to hear back from KIA because chances are they may say, look, in order to get this funding, you're going to have to raise your rates again. What I will tell you is 2 years ago, we adopted the CPI for rates. So that helped us with the $1 million Wall Street project. We did not have to raise any other rates because we adopted that CPI. And as you know, I think last year, the year before, it was about 8%. I'd say this year it's going to be about 4%, and that means rates will go up July 1st. After that project is a big one. This is about a $10 million project for upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant again. And the reason we're going to have to do that is currently we can handle about 6 million gallons per day. When we start closing off these outfalls, these CSOs, all of this stormwater is going to be going to our wastewater treatment plant. So we have to upgrade the millions of gallons per day that it can handle in order to treat the water. So at 6 million gallons right now, we're probably going to double that to 12 million gallons per day. And again, that's about a $10 million project. After that, we have more pump station upgrades to Beasley Creek, and that's a big pump station. That's probably going to be $6-7 million project. So if you look at that subtotal for those phases, that's close to $30 million that we have to do. We're under what started as a federal consent decree with the United States EPA. Now it is a state consent decree. If it had remained a federal consent decree, we could have gone after infrastructure money to help pay for it. But since it is a state consent decree, we were not eligible, which is unfortunate. So that's just with the long-term control plan, again, that we are required to do. It's unfortunate because I have a feeling even if we complete this, the EPA is going to come back and say, no, you're not done. You still have other things you're going to have to do. And that's what's happened to other cities. And in fact, there's a federal case where the city of San Francisco has sued the EPA because of this, because they're making them go beyond what they did in their long-term control plan. A big ticket item that we have options, but we're going to need a new water treatment plant, either a new plant or upgrades to the existing plant, because there are going to be regulations that come out. I don't know if you all have heard about these forever chemicals, PFAS, and those sort of things that we're going to have to treat. If we look at a new water treatment plant, ideally what we would like to do is place it on top of the hill somewhere, preferably close to one of our industrial parks. Judge will tell you, we have lost out on industrial prospects because we don't have the capacity and the flow to provide water on top of the hill. So if we were able to do that, put one on top of the hill, we would take our existing plant and basically use it as a large pumping station to pump water up to the reservoir and then to the plant. A new plant is probably about $40 million. To upgrade our existing plant in order to comply with standards that are coming out for these forever chemicals, we're probably looking in the range of $2 to $3 million. So do you upgrade a plant that was built back in the 1870s and probably have to continue sinking money into it, or do you try and build a new plant? Now, with that, I had a conversation with Senator West probably 3 weeks ago, and he asked me to provide him some details regarding data on who we provide water to, how much, this and that. The reason he was asking is because he was curious to see if we are a regional authority. And in fact, we really are. We provide water not only to the citizens in Maysville and Mason County, but we also send water to Western Lewis Rectorville. They buy water. We send water to Buffalo Trail out in Sardis. They buy water. We send water to the city of Flemingsburg. They buy a lot of water from us. So I truly believe that we are a regional authority, and I'm hoping he might be able to help get some kind of a line item in a budget to help fund a new water treatment plant for the area. So we have had that discussion. All right, now one that's been contentious here for 2 years now, we have unfortunately had issues out in the Mays Lick area. Not this year, but the year before, we had some issues with a pumping station and the tank out on 324, which caused our great citizens out in Mays Lick to lose water for several days. We have got that situation stabilized. We have some redundancy out there where we can switch over. We've got multiple pumps now. That water that serves Mays Lick comes from the water tank at Industrial Park 4. There's a 12-inch line that goes all the way out 11 and hits 324 and goes over to Mays Lick. And then this, 3 weeks ago, we had a break on that line there at the AA and Kentucky 11. And for the record, we've never had an issue at that point. I heard from some people that we needed to fix that area, fix that joint. We've never had an issue there. That was the first time we had an issue. So we have that squared away. What we're going to do in the meantime, in case we do have another break on that line, there is a 6-inch line that runs from Maple Leaf there near Maysville Rental and goes out alongside that 12-inch main and serves the citizens in Lewisburg and the Mount Gilead area. So what we're going to do at Marshall Station Road, which is Old 11 there in Lewisburg, we are going to lay about 300 feet of pipe, and we're going to connect those two lines so that if we do have a break on that main line, we can switch over to that 6-inch line and still provide water to the citizens out in the Mays Lick area. It's not going to be at the pressure level they would normally have, but at least they will have a little bit of water. And that's probably, we're working on that right now, and that's probably going to be a $10,000, $12,000 job. But it will help. What we've got to do, and this is an absolute need, we have to have good redundancy out in Mays Lick. And what that's going to take is running a new line from the Washington area out 68 and tying into the tank at 324. So that if we do have an issue on 11, we can shut that off while we're working on it, and we can provide water from the Washington area. And there won't be a break. There'll be no issues with that. You may or may not know, but about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a project in the KIA hopper to put a new water tank out in the Mays Lick area, around the Hinton Mills area. That was about a $3.1, $3.2 million project. We had to pull that out because we're under this federal consent decree to separate these sewers, and we had to focus on that project. So now, unfortunately, that project has pretty much doubled. Where it was about a $3 million project to run the line and build the tank, now it's a little over $3 million just to run the line and about $3 million for a tank. So what we're doing, we're working closely with the AD to go after Economic Development Administration money and potentially rural development money out of USDA to help fund this project. At a minimum, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can at least get the line paid for with minimal money coming out of our utility budget and or contingency money transferred over from the city. We're fortunate to have a good contingency at the city, And we do know that we're going to have to spend some of that money to do these utility upgrades. It's just a fact. One of the other projects we've been looking at is a water line from Industrial Park 3. There at Stober, Mitsubishi, running out to Clyde T. Barber Parkway to help serve Pickett Lane and our industries there on Kentucky 8, International Paper, and potential new industries in that area. So the bottom line with all the projects I've given you is, you know, we're looking at an estimate anywhere from $85 to $9,500 million. And the point here is that we are going to have to do these projects, whether they're water projects or sewer projects. My concern here is to fund a lot of these projects, we're going to have to raise rates. I mean, there's no way to get around it. But my concern is that once we do start raising rates, where is the balance where we're raising rates and our citizens going to be able to pay their bills? I'm very concerned about that rates are going to get to a point where citizens are not going to be able to pay their utility bills. And it does concern me. So again, my point here is not to scare anybody. It's to inform the court because, yeah, you're not in charge of the water lines out in Mays Lick, but guess who gets phone calls? I'm sure your all's phones were blowing up 2 weeks ago, and I understand that, and rightfully so. You do still serve the citizens of.
We call Judge McNeil every hour.
I understand. But I think it's vital that you all know when you do get phone calls, you have a little bit of background and a little bit of information so that you can provide that to your citizens out in the county. Again, we are trying. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to go after grant money to help alleviate possible rates going up. We're going to do our best, but these projects have to occur, especially the long-term control plan. We can't get around those. So I greatly appreciate your time. If you have any questions, I'm welcome to try my best to answer. If anything comes up later, yes, sir, Commissioner McKay.
Are y'all still trying to get into the ARC?
We are, and that's been about a what? Let's see, seven. I think we're going on 6 or 7 years now. That would help greatly because, as Judge will tell you, we would be considered a disadvantaged county, and we would be, we would be eligible for grants that were 70-30. We would only be, responsible for 30% of that match. Any of these projects, we'll also be looking at House Bill 9, which was passed last year from the legislature, which enables counties to request matches to the state for federal grants. So if we go after a USDA loan for this water line and it's an 80-20 match, we will apply to the state for House Bill 9 money to take care of that 20% match. So hopefully we don't have to raise water rates. John?
Citizen John Eskel of Mays Lick.
Yes.
My recollection is that when Southern Mason was winding up in its last years, north side of Piles Hill, they extended to that area, but they did it with, I think, people were building threw in money, and they probably underbuilt that part of that, did they?
Yeah.
I mean, what goes to Piles Hill from?
My understanding is about a 2 or 3 inch line.
Yeah, I think it's way underbuilt on that side.
And the other concern that we have to think about, especially out in the Mays Lick and the rural areas, increased farming, increased cattle production. Because come summertime, the water gets drained a lot because of, and rightfully so, that's understandable, but we've got to be able to have a backup for our farmers out in the rural areas.
Another question, Matt, is,
yes, sir.
And I just wondered this during that outage, does the old connection to Western Fleming still exist that Southern Mason used to? I know y'all don't want to buy water from a little utility, but yeah. Does that connection exist for an emergency or not?
I don't believe so, John.
Okay.
No, I don't believe so.
Matt, where are, as given our population, where are we in terms of water rates compared to other similarly populated either?
That's a great question. Our water rates, just the water side, are relatively low.
Yes, sir.
Our sewer rates are relatively high. Again, that goes back to
Consent decree.
the consent decree and what we had to do about 12 years ago in raising the rates 45%. So again, but when you combine those two rates on one bill, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and that does concern me. And I don't know what the answer to that is. I honestly do not.
Commissioners, as I've talked with you guys, City Manager Wongfer and I have discussed that the county stands prepared to assist in whichever way, however, we can as equal community partners. And so we have explored that. It's tough to find a vehicle that would enable that. We did it with the sewer line from the landfill, but it's kind of just finding the right vehicle. Also, Matt and I discussed the state emergency management folks came in, and they have assets that we can bring to bear should we have additional breaks in the form of bulk water, bottled water, things like that. And as both Tony, myself, and Matt all agree, it's good to at least have that planning in place should it be needed.
Well, I just want to say, City Manager Matt, I appreciate you coming to inform us about this and let us know. And we don't know what the answer is, but we're going after those grants and seeing if there's, if we can get into the ARC and
Sure.
it would be great if that could happen. If there's anything that we could do to help, I know you've all been fighting that battle for a while, but it would be great if we could get included into that to be eligible for those grants.
Totally understand, Commissioner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Judge, Commissioners, I appreciate your time today.
Also, let us say, this court greatly appreciates the efforts of your utilities team
Yes.
in Director Darren Garrison, Mr. Dixon, and all of them that work tirelessly,
Yes.
Day in and day out.
They do.
Get
They
this
do
one
they do a great job, and they are Johnny on the spot when something goes awry.
That break 2 weeks ago, it was a mess down in
Yeah.
It was.
I saw them out there.
They worked their tails off, and I
Tough
can't
conditions.
thank them enough.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you all for
Thank
your
you.
time. I greatly appreciate
Thank
it. Thank you.
Guys, next up on your docket, you'll see the minutes of the January 9th meeting, the Mason County Fiscal Court, regular meeting. I'm looking for a motion, any additions, deletions, or edits.
So moved.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, any additions to it? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. And so that brings us up to Clerk Schumacher and our 2023 settlement.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
I distributed our settlement for 2023. So we had receipts totaling $5,714,222.85. Disbursements totaling $5,578,093.88, with excess fees remaining in the amount of $136,128.97. I have a check for $100,000 here today to give to
Thank
Treasurer
you.
Muse. You're welcome.
Sheriff Fox was here.
And the remaining balance to be paid after the audit. So that's all I have,
Well done. Court greatly appreciates.
Thank you very much.
certainly.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beck.
Commissioners, any questions for Clerk Schumacher? Okay.
Two claps.
Do we need, we don't need to approve that. We need action. I
Yes,
need a
please.
motion to approve the
Yes.
2023 settlement.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Commissioners, also in your packet, you will see the February Road Department report, and we have Director Joe Brown here joining us today. Good morning, Joe.
Morning.
Hey.
Joe, Juan is doing a fantastic job on the new report. Graphics and everything.
Yeah, they look good. He's rocking and rolling. So speak. All right, February, we had repaired a polecat pipe slip for 40 tons of channel liners. On down, we had some down trees from the recent storms were cleaned up and removed on Clark's Run Road and Tangletown. Defined the ditches on Strodes Run Road due to drainage and recent storms. And we treated roads for snow on the 13th, 16th, and 20th of January. On the signs made and installed, we had 9 signs made and installed. And on the livestock removal program, we had 14 customers for that.
Commissioners, also I'll bring up, we had the Keiko team come in, was it last week, Joe?
Yeah.
Last week did a simulated OSHA walkthrough. We're hearing positive reports. I haven't seen a finalized report from that, but I'm hearing positive reports from it. And then also I made a note last night, we did receive some great comments on the snowstorm and removal. That was January 13th, or mid-January. So well done.
And he's avoided another one last night.
Yes, sir. we did.
Yeah, thank the Lord for that.
Any other questions for,
Appreciate you, Joe. Take that motion to
Thank
approve
you
as
all.
presented.
I'll second.
we have a motion, we have a second. Any
Thank you,
additional
Joe.
discussion?
Thank you
Roll
all.
call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame,
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil.
Yes, ma'am.
That new truck should be here next week or the week after.
Okay,
Good deal.
okay.
Thank you,
Good.
sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Commissioners, also in your packet, you will see the January report for the Mason County Animal Shelter. We have Director File joining us today. Good morning, Marilyn.
Morning.
Morning, Marilyn.
Morning.
Good morning. In January, 35 dogs left the shelter. 6 were adopted, 2 reclaimed by owners, 27 were sent to rescues. 45 dogs were brought in, 25 as stray, 12 as owner surrender, 7 related to cruelty and neglect, and 1 for viciousness. Animal control received 71 dog calls, 0 cat calls, made 35 field responses, and brought 31 dogs into the shelter. As of January 31st, there were 25 dogs on site at the shelter, 8 in foster care, and the total made 33. We received $742.86 in donations, 37.8 hours of volunteer work, and completed 7 spay-neuter surgeries.
I will highlight, I think you have some news for Conference Friday.
Yes, the Humane Society of the United States, the Kentucky division, is hosting the Kentucky Animal Welfare Summit and has invited us to present there and talk about our progress over the last year and a half.
Invited us, begged us.
Yes.
There was a great article in the paper. That's good. Congratulations.
Really is, man. I'll highlight, look, you're doing some great work there with the outreach up at the shelter. You're really leveraging the public's assistance up there, and there's no division that warrants that more than the animal shelter. You're doing a great job. We're very excited about your presentation Friday. But between that, highlights in the ledger and the wagging tails, I think it's important we recognize our volunteer group, all of the volunteer groups. The EnviroFlight adoption program seems to be going very, very well.
It is.
So, well done.
Thank you.
Great job. Make a motion to approve as presented. Second.
Got a motion and got a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hara?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Again, congratulations.
Next up, we got our Sheriff's Office report, and we had Chief Deputy Ryan Swolsky join.
Good morning, Judge. Good
Morning, morning.
So I will start with the monthly tax disbursements for January of 2024. To the Kentucky State Treasurer, $37,071.89. To the Mason County General Fund, $223,358.
There you go. That's the competition I was referring to between Deputy Sheriff Boggs and the clerk. So y'all were wondering.
And 42 cents. Mason County School District, $540,038.12. Mason County Public Library, $62,126.16. Mason County Health Department, $70,598.12. Mason County Extension Office, $37,652.22. City of Maysville, $25,560.85. City of Dover, $242.09. City of Germantown, $326.22, which brings the total disbursements for January 2024 to $996,974.09.
Commissioners, I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hara?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
So then also in your packet is the January 2024 Mason County Sheriff's Office monthly vehicle report. If you have any questions, let me know on that.
Must have been a big coyote that struck that vehicle.
No.
Was it coyote or deer?
This
It's
coyote.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
Yeah, of all things. Yeah.
It's a coyote eradication.
Program, yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that before.
Durango still running good?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've been really pleased with them. Yeah.
So, look for a motion to approve the monthly vehicle
I'll
report.
make the motion.
A second.
Got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hara?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioners, also in your packet, you see some information from several providers about a 2023 Dodge Durango. The cheapest, that's the wrong word to use, most cost-effective 23 Durango looks like it will come in at $52,588 outfitted. At our last meeting, we discussed, determining what to do for vehicles for the sheriff's department. We're currently at 14 vehicles. We got quotes from Bachman, Don Franklin, Freedom, Dodge, and others. Mr. Deputy Linville and I had a conversation about staggering these to retain as many within warranty as possible. And so I'm looking for a frank discussion on, are we looking for an additional unit at the sheriff's department?
I would think so. I mean, here's one thing I really like is Sheriff went ahead and bought one out of his budget earlier this year. So, I mean, and I know we've had many discussions over the past couple months about some needs in this area. So, I mean, I think at this point in time, it would be, I think it would be good for us to step up and get one now. And to continue to work on our long-term plan on how to stagger and make this work. I think the people in Mason County, our sheriff's department provides a lot of coverage for a lot of different things. And I think people have come to expect that. And we want to be able to provide that.
Yes, sir.
And so, I mean, I think at this time, I would be in favor of getting one now.
I would too, and I also think it's a good idea to stagger them to where they're under warranty all the time. That's cost effective.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Sure.
Judge, and before there's a motion from the room, Judge and Deputy Linville, is there I know you read a list of providers. Is there a specific provider, and I guess they're all state price contract or?
They are, yes, sir. And the outfitted, and check my math, outfitted one from the Don Franklin Group with the outfitting company would be $52,588 as the low price. They're all on state contract, but that would, even there is some, there is some difference even on the state contract. But that represents the cheapest.
And how's it gonna be financed? Kim?
Probably US Bank, depending on the rates, but that's where we've gotten the best rates for these.
What about possibly, and Judge, I don't mean to, we hadn't talked about this outside of the meeting, what about paying for it and then rolling it into a refinance of a lease or something? Instead of having one vehicle
We can.
on one lease, wouldn't we better have less leases and refinance?
I agree.
If you had to pay for it short term, could we?
Yeah.
I don't want to have a separate lease agreement with every single vehicle.
No, I know, that's fine.
Of course, rates are higher, so you probably won't refinance, right?
Well, probably not.
Uh,
But I think it's doable to buy it
Just about outright.
for one, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be my preference,
Okay.
the way rates are.
Okay.
But on the bids, I mean, I know the 52 you're talking about, that's outfitted.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's-
Yeah.
The prices are under 40.
Correct.
For just the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
So
Is it two separate things? I mean, now, I know that 40,000 mark's a big.
who's
deal.
doing, Colton, who's doing the outfitting of them? If that's the right word.
Ridgenet, they're just north of Somerset, about 10 miles roughly. But the price was $39,808 on the Durango itself, that's just for that. And then I believe, I sit here and look, it's $12,780 for the outfit.
Is it for sure less than $40,000?
For sure, less than $40,000.
How about a motion be to purchase a Durango from Don Franklin Auto Group for an amount not to exceed $40,000, and additionally to pay for the outfitting, whatever's required to upgrade that vehicle for use by the sheriff's office, to be paid for by the treasurer?
Because it's two separate things.
Yeah.
Being it'd be under 40,000, we'd be okay on.
Well, no, it's on the state.
It's on state, so you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Okay.
And then that's why I was gonna say, we need to see the letter and the numbers for the state price contract.
And that's in the
I'm sure-
packet, yeah, we've got that in the
Okay,
packet, yeah.
He's actually, it falls underneath they just changed the state contract as you and I talked.
Oh, that's right,
last
yeah.
year. So it falls underneath the master agreement, but he does have a copy of the master agreement where Don Franklin falls under.
Kim and I just like to make sure we have the numbers.
Absolutely.
So Colton, will Don Franklin deliver it to Somerset for you?
Yeah, so once you
You don't
guys
have to worry about it.
vote on this, and if it goes forward, then I would just call Don Franklin and say that it's been approved.
Mhm.
They will deliver the vehicle to Ridgenet, so we don't have to worry about it. And then
Right.
whenever the vehicle is finished, which I've made a pretty good rapport with that gentleman, it should be outfitted hopefully within a month. I know they're doing probably about 200 or 300 other cars, so that should be the timeline. And then they also added in just a thing, so we don't have to continue to go back down there. God forbid something happens with the electronics. There's a USB cable that goes up through the cup holder, so we can plug it into the computer, so we don't have to continue to spend the gas going back and forth if something were, to go wrong.
Based on history, a month is pretty darn good for us, so we've got a good streamlined process, we think, so.
And just for the record, the Don Franklin unit came in at $39,808. Bachman Chevrolet unit came in at $39,955. And the Freedom Dodge unit came in at $41,426.
That unit's definitely there? Or do you want them to approve, or you want to approve all of them? In case you have to go somewhere else?
No, the unit's there.
It is for sure there.
Yes.
Yes.
And who's outfitting them, RidgeNet?
RidgeNet, yes, ma'am.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This will be a big help for us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any additional
Thank you.
questions, comments?
Get while you're hot.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, my friend. Guys, Commissioners, also in your packet, you'll see the January Emergency Management Report from Director Tony Lees. Tony's here today. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, everyone. And I am in agreement with Joe, Road Department Director, that we're very thankful that we was able to dodge the storm that was predicted for last night. So that was good. I kept looking out the window throughout the night, and
That was a direct order from me last night. We were not allowed to have any snow here.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, just looking over the report, training, went through a psychological first aid, which is also somewhat of a chaplaincy role, but also beneficial for the emergency management. There's a lot of things that we know we encounter and go through that can be beneficial as well. The human trafficking awareness to action seminar, actually, as a part of my responsibilities, the Department of Homeland Security kind of fit in that role as well. And so that was January was the awareness month for human trafficking, and so I was able to sit in on that briefing there. Also, we attended a USAR briefing, some things that are happening within the state for getting this together, looking to with the incident we had over in Mayfield with the tornadoes, going through the candle factory and trying to recover and rescue individuals there. Also with the building that collapsed at the coal mine down in eastern Kentucky. The state is seeing the need for having a USAR team, which is an urban search and rescue, which will be able to go into buildings and recover. And so there's some things in the works for there with that, and we're looking to be a part of that as well. Also, we had a NWS chat webinar, which is kind of showing us how to use some of the new technology with the Wilmington and the weather service there. Incidents, we just kind of monitored some of the temperatures and the winter storms. We had a power outage there on the east end. We kind of had some things in place and ready to go if needed. We've also had a couple of vehicle fires where we actually had to shut down some highways for those. And was there and able to assist with those, and also just kind of monitoring the river and flooding as we've had some the rains and stuff there towards the end of the month. The other items there also had some meetings with the Area 7, our ministerial association, also the SOSYNC, which is a group from the Coast Guard, where the tri-state is Indiana, Ohio, and Northern Kentucky. We gather quarterly to discuss grants and things that are taking place there. Also had another Area 7 meeting. Was able to be a part of the Amazing Shake up here at the middle school. It was great to be a part of that. And we also had a volunteer chiefs meeting here towards the end of the month as well.
Commissioners, also, in last month's meeting, we talked about the 2024 Search and Rescue Aid Fund. I did not have that total grant award at last month's meeting. The total grant award for the Search and Rescue Aid Fund was $11,970. Good job on Tony for getting those funds in.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
I'll also say thank you for getting Jason York, the State Emergency Management Regional Representative in. We talked about upcoming grant opportunities as well as the water distribution issue we brought up earlier in Mays Lick. So, and did a good job with the mid-January outages, electric outages and snowstorms, my friend. Any additional questions for Tony?
Appreciate it, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
privilege, the opportunity. Thank you, Pastor Lisa.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion? Have a second? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Frame? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner McKay?
You call her first. It doesn't matter.
Change it up here.
That's all right. Switch it up. Switch it up. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Commissioners, in your packet, you'll see the landfill report. We've got Director Travis Cooley joining us today. Good morning, Travis. Morning.
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 During the month of January, the landfill received approximately 7,138 tons of waste, valued at $156,996. Curt fees were $9,089. Roll-off business had $32,295 in billable accounts. We pumped 2,853,768 gallons of leachate to the city treatment plant. The contained landfill is just normal day-to-day activities, residual, or phase 6 actually. Phase 6 is, they're working on it day-to-day as the weather permits them to do it. Of course, we've got drawings and progress reports, pictures and stuff. The residual landfill, as far as the gypsum goes, they're still removing gypsum for this beneficial reuse. It's kind of a trial basis right now. They've talked with, we got a drywall plant down here in Silver Grove, Certainteed. They're supposed to be running a trial on it. They took samples down a week before last, and they're supposed to see if it works. If it works, then they're gonna take a contract to take it all, so.
They haven't started paying, we haven't been paid on that.
We have. On the
Yeah.
contract, yes, sir.
Yeah, we've got a contract that's $50,000 a year.
Okay.
So we've seen 200,
Yeah,
250 after this year.
After this one, yes.
Right.
5 years.
It's, the contract goes through 2025, but they said that they're looking to extend the contract. So.
That's right, it's a flat per year, not a.
Yes.
Not a ton or something. That's right.
And,
we get a commission off of the sales as well.
you know, the Silver Grove crew up there is also the same target we're looking to partner with on our river board as well. So kind of come together. Well done. Also, near the end of January, we did do the update meeting with the Phase 6 expansion with the guys at Tetra Tech, the construction team who've been, in my opinion, outstanding. I think you've been pleased with them. And the state guys, and everybody seems pleased. I walked away from the meeting thinking, you know, everything's gone very well so far. We're kind of in a weather hole till things dry up. Okay. Commissioners, any other questions for?
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
Look for a motion to approve the landfill report.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Well,
Travis.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, sorry. I'll also highlight, the landfill and our mechanical department is participating with the Magnet Schools internship program, shadowing program, and I believe we either have or are close to having 2 students there in our mechanicals office there, Shadow. And I like that program a lot in providing, career ladders for the students here in Mason County. So good thinking on your part.
We had two kids start yesterday,
Good.
so we'll see how this works.
So they shadow.
They shadow
in the office.
In the shop. Yeah,
So how long will they do this, Travis?
They'll do it for the remainder of this school year, and
Okay.
then there's potential for the next school year.
Yeah.
There'll be other kids.
That's a good program.
And last point, the landfill committee did meet Friday. I believe we'll have some recommendations at our next fiscal court meeting on rates going forward, things like that, tipping fees. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks again, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Commissioners, in your packet, you will see the recycling center report from Director Randy Ham. We highlighted the FCCLA program earlier and our ambitions using that as a pilot case for more dense employment centers across Mason County. Last month in Mason County, we picked up 120,620 pounds of recycling. We had 2 loads of cardboard go to International Paper at 88,960 pounds. Total shipped in January was that 88,960 pounds. Total collected in December was $1,990.88. Our total customers were down a little bit at the recycling center for January at 81. But again, our total recyclable materials that went to the landfill was a net 0 amount, which is what we like to see. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the recycling center report.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frank?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioners, also in your packet, we've got the solid waste reports. I think Chris Carpenter is out on the road. For December, our total tonnage was 355.03 tons. In January, our total tonnage was 377.36 tons. We've got 366 total waste wheelers that are active out in the county, and 102 dumpsters active out in the county. Look for a motion to approve solid waste report.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frank?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioners, in your packet, we've got the property abatement and illegal dumping reports. We've got Director Davis joining us here today. Good morning, John.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Not too much to report on the litter abatement grant. We did receive $23,642.94, which is up $354.29 from last year. So I got an extra.
Hey, we'll take it.
So I think that kind of makes up for me going over almost $150. I plan on beating that this year. So.
Well done.
All right. Not too much to go on regarding the nuisance properties. I am working with the county attorneys. I think I gave them 8 properties. I think so.
I'm the holdup in that. I've got your list. We're gonna sit down and go over it and come up with a plan, but I haven't done it, so. I didn't ignore your email, it's nagging at me.
It's just the list I inherited. I mean, some of these properties been on it for about 2-3 years, so
Yeah, we need to
we're
put
making
an action
progress.
plan on each one.
I think we're making a lot of progress with the property. So, other than that, don't have too much going. That's about it.
Also, commissioners, spring is around the corner. you don't remember, we've got the roadside litter abatement program, but then also while you're out and about checking, touring the roads, things like that, if you see dump sites, if you see opportunities, kind of get Mason County clean, give John and I a ring. John and I were talking this morning, there's been a box up there off 68. Heck, since like Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And so we'll scoop that up, even though it's a state road, but,
I picked up those state roads before.
And
It's in the county.
we had a long, in-depth conversation Friday about litter in Mason County and dumping in Mason County. And I want you guys to understand, I'm on the hunt to catch either somebody littering or one of these dump sites. And
Old 68's a good place to start.
yes, sir. Yep.
I've been, thank you, Judge. I've been saying this for 30 years. I know everybody's for term limits, and I shouldn't be sitting here for 30 years probably, but we're absolutely committed, if we can find litterers, to prosecute them, to do whatever we can do. We take it real serious, litterers, when we get them in court. We just have such few cases. So if, citizens see somebody litter,
Yes.
send and that requires law enforcement investigation if you have a tag and a whatnot. But, Sheriff Boggs and Chief Deputy Swolsky's ever shaking their hands, and the city feels the same way. If somebody needs to be worked on something flying out a window, we will together. But we need information and prosecutions and litter. I think that it's absolutely unbelievable how beautiful our county is, and how this time of year is so obvious how everybody's been chucking stuff out the window all winter.
And I would not put it past the judge and John to have hunting cameras out and about at special places. And so we'll leave it at that. Look for a motion to approve the solid waste report.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Harn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, the property abatement will leave it done. I thought I solid waste report.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Garbage collections report. Had 2,777 charges last month. Amount payable was $37,102.46. The payments received were $1,478 for total receipts of $51,860.93. Look for a motion to approve the garbage collection report, please.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second, any discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Harn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioners, in your packet, you will see the detention center report, and we have Jailer Lisa Geary joining us today. Good morning.
Morning,
Jailer.
Lisa.
Good morning, Dale.
Good morning.
For the month of January, the detention center had a highest daily count of 161. Our lowest daily count was 150, with a monthly average of 154. Of those, the average of males is 128 and females is 26. Mason County had a total of 85 inmates, Bratton County 14, Fleming 45, and all other counties 9. Class Ds, we had 79, controlled intake 32, and SAP we had 22. Total admitted and released from the Mason County Detention Center was 190, and of those, 135 are males, 55 are females. Community service hours worked was 7,936 hours, and with a cost savings to the county of $79,360. Jail reimbursements collected was $1,733.42. Bond fees was $59.77. Release fees was $18.62. Booking fees was $546.54. Pay my jailer, we collected $1,557.55. House Bill 556, we were given is $16,384. House Bill 556, SAP certificates earned, we had an extra $1,000. Community service hours provided by the inmates. We assisted the county garbage pickup as usual, recycle center, and the Mason County Road Department, along with the animal shelter, as we do on a regular basis. Other outside agencies that we helped during the month of January was the Mason County Food Bank, Mason County Licking Valley Commodities, the Maysville Museum, and we assisted with snow removal on the around the government buildings when we had that snow. And the inmates, as usual, painted inside the facility and did general maintenance and meal preparations and laundry. The state highway road crew, inmate road crew logged a total of 48 hours each during the month and covered 549 miles for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet on state roads in Lewis and Mason counties. Training, the staff in-house had a total of 78 hours. We had GED testing. We had 5 inmates who tested for their GED. As far as the high tunnel, we are gearing up for the 2024 spring and summer planting. The vegetable seeds have been ordered along with needed supplies for the high tunnel. And at the 1st of March, the plastic will be replaced on the high tunnel by the same company that built the structure. The ankle monitoring program, during the month of January, we collected $1,770, and we had a total of 8 individuals who were participating in the ankle monitoring program. And moving forward, we have had some activity on our grease trap in the kitchen, but we've had no quotes to actually shore that up, and we're still waiting on one from a company. And that's pretty much it. All the others are just still on hold.
Commissioners, any questions on the jail report?
Curious, testing on the inmate's GED, has the results come back yet, or do you know?
Not yet. I haven't heard anything from that.
Good. Hope it's positive.
They kind of test all during the month, so I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Just curious about personnel, are you fully staffed or?
I am, and we actually have some part-time people, which is really nice to have that pool of people.
Plastic on the high tunnel, about how much? Just curious.
It's about, I think it was about $1,000 some odd dollars just for the plastic, and it's going to be a $2,000 labor install. That comes out of commissary.
Commissary funds, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that, thank you.
Everything that deals with the high tunnel, we pay out of commissary.
I'm just curious the price.
So I'll look for a motion to approve the jail report.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any additional discussion, additions or deletions, guys? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil.
Yes, ma'am. Also in your packet, you want to go over this with you?
Yes. I think the judge has been approached more than me from Lewis County, always wanting to know if we have any available room for their inmates. Ever since we had to let them go, they've always said, if anything ever changes, please let us know. We'd like to come back. And I think they have, wanted and really like our location. It's better for them. And our numbers are holding pretty steady at a manageable number that we could take on Lewis County at this time. And so we drafted an agreement, sent it to them, and I haven't heard what happened.
They met yesterday, they reviewed it and approved it. This morning, I did have a conversation with Sheriff Boggs. I think we're protected in here on their 202A people, their mental health, like so.
That goes from the sheriff of the county that they reside in is who transports them to 202A.
Not by statute.
Huh, please?
Not by statute. By the statute, it's where they land.
Oh.
So, you know, Sheriff Boggs and his staff are very sensitive to, somebody comes to Bracken, to Fleming, to Lewis, to Meadowview, for instance, they're the ones that transport, that's just the way the statute reads. So I think the sheriff wants to make sure if you have a transport that, not only it's not his people, but not your people, Lewis County may have to come down and transport it.
If it's a
Is what-
202A, yes, sir, that's the way I understood it,
Is
yeah.
what he's concerned about there. It has them doing medical transports, right?
Do what, please?
The contract has them doing medical transports.
Right, medical, yeah.
I think that falls under
And I
that.
would think it would.
I think it falls under that.
So we're good?
You know, I don't, you know, we don't really have a whole lot of that, but I guess, you know, to the tool trays, but I guess that would be a
Perhaps
concern.
three a year, maybe.
Maybe. It's not
Okay.
that
I think it's fine.
Okay, okay, right on.
Just to make a note that if we have one out of Lewis County, we need to call Lewis County, come get them.
And it's actually the judge that needs that, isn't she or he, usually the one to
Right.
send the order to the Weatherford
Oh,
County, so
good.
we'll
Okay.
just make sure that she's aware.
You just need to remember if it comes up, how to handle it.
Look, and I think it's important we do everything we can to have good partnerships and assist our contiguous counties.
This isn't in the contract, but it's, and I know Lisa's made it clear, the judge has made it clear, this is on a hotel sort of basis. If there's no room in the inn, there's no room in the inn. So it says up to 25, I think, but there's no
We left it out.
We left out the number. So they're not guaranteeing before we let them book a certain number of beds or bunks, and that's not this case. It's if the jail's got room, then we'll do business with them. If not, they have to go somewhere else.
They would have X number of days to remove and take them somewhere else.
But my point is, if Lisa gets full up, she could say, stop bringing me here.
Right, yeah.
I'll keep the ones I've got,
Gotcha.
don't bring me anymore. I mean, we're not guaranteeing a certain number like we did before.
Send your others to Greenup County,
Yeah.
Moorhead, wherever they go. Any other questions, Commissioner?
You can see where they use different jails depending on what part of the county they're in. Lewis is so huge.
Right, right,
Geographically.
right.
That makes sense, yeah.
We need a motion, right?
I need a motion to,
Make a motion to approve the agreement as presented. Second.
got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion, questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Commissioners, next up in your packet, we got our treasurer's report, and we have Treasurer Kim Hughes here today. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning. Today, I'd like to have the court's authorization to pay claims as presented, including the additional claims totaling $70,921.40.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'd like to have the court's approval of the financial statement as of January 31st, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
And Allison's here today, our occupational tax coordinator. I'd just like for her to give you a quick summary of how much we've received and how that's going right now.
Yeah, so this past quarter was the end of the quarter, this past month was the end of the quarter, so all your quarterly payments were due. We're looking actually really good. We're coming in about $783,800, so it's looking really good so far. Anybody have any questions?
We talked about at past meetings and past conversations with you and the treasurer's office that at some point we have to start doing some enforcement on those that were not participating. Where are we on non-compliant entities? I guess?
Yeah, so I have a few, larger businesses that, you know, are taking their time getting this incorporated, as they would say. To me, they've had plenty of time to do so. So I have 2 that I'm still working on, actually 3 that I'm still working on, but I'm in contact with them. So to me, that's progress there. As far as businesses that I have not heard from at all, I have a city list, but I just got that list this past month and have not had time to actually dig into that and see where we're going from there. Because that was kind of the plan between Kim and I, was to get that city list, whoever, because it is very similar. We of course have a few businesses outside of the city limits, but that's limited. So we're gonna go through that city list and then we'll be in contact with you.
Okay. I agree, focus on the larger institutional type taxpayers, or I'm sorry, employers, before you start wanting to have to educate mom and pop businesses.
And actually, it is kind of surprising. Your mom and pops are the ones that are really cooperative and,
Good.
and on it. So that's good, yeah.
So how long is that list? I'm just curious.
So we started between when we first incorporated, it was between the state, and we got a state list and a city list, so we put all of that together. And that ended up being about 1,600. As far as inactive, because neither one.
But that's a lot of junk.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
In that.
Those
Some
lists
of
were
that
not
too.
updated by any means, and so I've had a lot of inactive, what we call inactive businesses, meaning they are no longer in business. And we're down to about 1,300.
And we don't feel it's a case they are not withholding from the checks, they just haven't remitted the total to.
Correct.
Okay.
An eye-opener for me and Kim as well is a third-party payroll processing company, and that's where a lot of our issues come in. And that's where, like, let's say McDonald's does their payroll through Paycor. So they send all of their information to Paycor, and the issue is more so on Paycor's side than McDonald's, which is honestly a good thing.
95% of the issue is third-party payroll processing.
Sure, yeah.
And the issue that comes along with that is just simply being in contact. They do not have open communication at all.
So if you're not aware, there was one major employer that there was I'll call it a miscommunication with on their end. You would have to go back and impose, they could go back and withhold since commencement of the imposition of the tax against employees, which would be have a terrible impact on employees if they did so. I think the one that there was a problem with, they, for lack of better words, ate the back tax on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there's,
most of them do. Most of them get that.
but we got there's also some concern where you're enforcing that they go out and there's a huge penalty on the employees because all the tax is taken out at once as opposed to over pay periods as it should have been.
But you've made sure they are doing that well. They're withholding from the employee. It's their statements and sending in the money. 1%
Yeah.
is, they're not sending in 1%.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of those
It's
issues too.
strange.
And incorrect payments are sent back, period,
Right.
on my part.
And we do want to talk about that too.
Yeah, and so, a lot of these payroll processing companies, again, it falls back on them. They're sending in $200 instead of $100. Like, simple mistakes, move your decimal, and they're not there yet. And so we're working on that.
It is that simple.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Thank you, Allison.
Yeah, and as always, my office is always open for questions or whatever.
Thank you, Allison.
It says a lot about the job she's doing, the fact that I have not been involved in asking these questions in a fiscal court meeting, because I haven't been involved, which is good.
She's doing great.
Well done.
It's been really good.
Also, I want to bring up Michael Ray with CAECO Safety and Loss. He's the Safety and Loss Control Manager for CAECO. Presented the court with the CAECO Safety Grant Award in the amount of $8,562 last Thursday. Good to see Mike. We're always happy when he comes around. So I think we need a motion to approve the treasurer's report, or did we do it?
We did.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Commissioners, in your packet, you will see the EMS report from Fire Chief Kevin Doyle. Total across the county EMS runs was 394 last month. Within the county, we had 56 of those. The city runs were 338. You'll also find the permit report from Building Codes Jim Fawcett. Commissioner McKay, you and I discussed, I was the one commercial account on there that was not the shoe rack project, Rack Room Shoes. That is First State Bank's project. That is 167 Walmart Way. You called Friday asking.
Right, thank you.
Yes, sir. It takes us up to new business. Mr. Wallingford has already presented. We have the Mason County Elderly Housing, Fair Housing Policy and Grievance Process Approval. We've pulled this together for our senior housing project, and it's a fair housing policy that we need approval on up in our East End project.
Madam Chair, I think we probably adopted this before, but we can't lay our hands on it.
Right.
So is adopted.
Make the motion.
Go ahead, no, I was gonna make a motion, go ahead.
Make the motion to approve as presented, fair housing policy.
Second.
Oh, that's fine,
No,
Joe.
go, Ms. Bowman.
No big deal.
No, you're fine, Sherry, go ahead.
So we got a motion, we have a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner O'Hearn?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Then we have the Swiss Shop ABC application, Mr. Christian Walker for 9519 Mason Lewis Road. What am I doing with this here?
You're just approving.
Oh, okay. So the court needs to approve their alcohol beverage control license for Swiss Shop for Christian out there in Lewisburg. He's got Plumville, sorry. Once approved, this is part of our new process, once approved, myself and Sheriff Boggs, time to time, stop in, double check on them, but also we retain the right for any complaints that pop up too. They can call in and leave a complaint, so.
So thanks, Sherry. This is the first one. I think this is a public hearing. So thanks, Sherry and the clerk for implementing this new ordinance. I think we're gonna lose money on advertising, do we not?
We do.
That's the one thing that if you're doing this legally is when you advertise, you leave. It's gonna cost more than what the permit does. Over time, you would recoup it, but that's sort of a bad point to me. That's probably why we weren't following the law before exactly. But thanks to the clerk and Sherry for implementing, and I guess, Judge, you need to ask if there's any comments or anybody wants to be heard on that application.
Any comments or anyone want to be heard on the Swift Shop ABC application? Please step forward. Hearing none.
And there's no action. You grant it.
Oh,
Administratively, right?
Yes.
There's none. We've already checked into property taxes being paid, garbage bills have been taken care of.
I mean, fiscal court does not, I need to go back and look at the ordinance. Fiscal court doesn't approve it, the judge just.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Once it's, as long as there's no issues with the public,
So you're-
then we will just approve it online with the state.
So you could do these outside, you could do these public hearings outside fiscal court, meetings, but there's no reason to do that. So we're calling them during the meetings. But it requires not your action.
Gotcha.
Get a chance, stop out to the Swift Shop.
Yeah.
Check it out. Guys, also in your packet, we received this year's annual sponsorship request from the Maysville Mason County Chamber of Commerce. Now, Sherry and I looked at, or Kim and I looked this up yesterday paid this in July of last year.
23, right.
So approving it today, we don't want to pay twice in 1 year. And so approving it today, we're not going to release the funds until July.
New fiscal year.
Yeah, July.
Right, we budget once every fiscal year, right.
Someone looking for a motion to.
Yeah.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Also remember, this sponsorship gives us access to, event tickets, things like that. So help me remember when these events occur.
So the clerk, if you'd note that it's a 5,000, the motion's for 5,000 contribution commencing in next fiscal year, July 2024. That's the motion.
That's the motion. Yes. Okay, guys, that brings us up to old business. We have Ms. Kaylee here joining us today, talk about the Mason County Senior.
We're gonna get the vote.
Yeah,
Oh.
we didn't vote on that motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
There we go. Thank you.
Good catch, good catch. Hey, good morning. How are you, Kay?
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Good
Kaylee
morning.
Ziegler.
Okay, so you should have copies of these change orders in your packet, and I can give a little bit of background. So originally, when this project was bid, this is for the senior housing project. According to CDBG regulation, if it's under 8 units, prevailing wage does not apply. And ours is, or your all's is, so. But then, we ended up splitting up the contracts, which I'm sure you're all aware, you had a conversation about that. But that happened after bids had come in. And so the prevailing wage applies to the sidewalks and to the parking lot only. So Brown County Construction was awarded for the parking lots. And I don't know which order you have them in, but Brown County's is, okay, I think you have DJE's first, but either way.
We do. Yes, ma'am.
DJE's is a no-cost change order. I had a conversation with him, and he said that he had assumed that prevailing wage was applicable, so he already had that covered, and so that's a no-cost change order. This change order is just to acknowledge that prevailing wage has been
You
included.
want separate motions or? together?
Separate motions, yeah.
So a motion to approve contract change number 2 with effect 0 impact as first dollars.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am.
And to approve contract number 3 change order with financial impact or additional funds of $1,055.21. Is that correct?
Yes.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion, second. Any discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Kaylee, while you're here, I would like to say, this court greatly appreciates everything you and Buffalo Trace have done for this grant award up there. It seems like we have been pushing a rope up the hill, and I'm very glad we have gotten to the top of the hill and going down the other side.
Yeah, thank you. We are too. There's finally movement,
Yeah.
so.
So thank
Yeah.
you.
She's been very helpful.
I'll try.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Commissioners, one thing I want to bring up, would you guys be interested in doing a kind of a groundbreaking out there for this project? The gentleman with DJ Construction has shovels, things like that. I think it could turn into a nice little event for some of our senior residents over there to join in as well. And so, with your blessing, we'll work on getting a date organized for that and getting moving. Sounds good? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brings us up to board appointments. We have a dual appointment for the Buffalo Trace Area Development District between the city and county, and we have appointed Ray Young as a citizen member for Buffalo Trace Area Development District Board of Directors. And then also Miss Judy Chumbler for the Maysville Mason County Arts Commission. Judy will be joining Jackie Sue on that board as they impact the arts in Maysville, Mason County. Brings us up to communications. I will highlight Sherry's outstanding work and dedication in our Kentucky Housing Corporation audit. We had an audit at our senior living facility. We passed with flying colors, and they even commented on Sherry's dedication to our bookkeeping and notes up there. So well done, Sherry. Well done. Super. We just, yep, agreed. We just talked about our internship program up at the landfill. I'm excited about those 2 students shadowing and also joining our partnership with FCC LA in the recycling program. And so we'll be excited to see how those relationships go forward. Traveled to Covington mid-month last month, and I think I've talked to each one of you individually about Alicia Webb Eddington's Life Learning Center up there. They have developed a fantastic program to help those with addiction or homelessness, things of that nature, kind of get back on their feet. And a lot of it is predicated on the self-worth one gets from having a daily job and employment. And so they're really making an impact there in Covington, and the 3 county up there, Boone, Campbell, and Kenton, are all supporting that. And so we are working to see if Mason County can be added to Life Learning Center's footprint. They will be here in Mason County early March. We're going to kind of meet with some partners, Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, the Detention Center, and others, see if we can't get a similar program here.
We heard them at the conference.
Yes, sir.
Jack.
Yep.
Very successful program.
We, Comprehension Director Melissa Greenwell, myself, Rod Baker, and others are kind of working on that. Had the County Judge Executive Association Winter Conference into January, February 1st. We want to congratulate the students with the Amazing Shake contest there at the school. They did a great job. We did the Hands of Hope ribbon cutting back on February 7th. Also Wednesday, we're going to have WLEX, WKYT, and others here to join us tomorrow for the, they're going to do an update story on the Charles Young Cabinet out in Mays Lick. And so look forward to having them here. And then Bradley's Haberdashery will reopen Wednesday, tomorrow. And Hometown Cafe and Gift Shop opens up in the East End Monday at 7 a.m. Any communications from you 30 commissioners? Did you get that done?
No, but I want to tell you how much I appreciate the updates you give us on what we need, you know, in the county, like the water deal that was going on.
Yes, ma'am.
I really appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for that, very helpful community, as needed.
You know, Jim, and I should have said this while Matt was here. Everybody doesn't have ready access to a cell phone number to a commissioner, or like me calling you every hour. Some better press or Channel 10 on the cable, or some better announcements what's going on. Because you never know. You go to bed and you think your water's going to be on in the morning, like it was the break the week before, and it wasn't on.
Yeah.
Some better
communication.
I thought all the general public
Facebook
does not know what's going on.
I'd like to say that our website is close.
Yep.
And so once that is public and
But it
live,
should be lots of places. It should be on the city's
Correct.
website. It should be on
Right.
yours. It should be on
Right.
WFTN. Everybody gets their news a little differently. So
And I'm excited about that website in that it'll give us the vehicle to put an update in once, and then it will automatically feed to sister agencies like the city's website, like WFTM, like a lot of social media aspects out there. Kind of a single point, go a long way instead of updating each one.
And my wife called Judge McNeil on that Saturday morning and thanked him because we had a house full of people, and if you want guests to leave early on Saturday morning, if you don't have a lawyer, they move pretty quickly.
Get out!
So thank you for that.
I remember that. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, my friends.
So moved.
Second. Got a motion to second. Any additional discussion before this court today? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ahern?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Frank?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge McNeil?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, guys. Allison.
Hey, John,
Yes.
got, thank